Hello and welcome to another video. In today's video I will say everything there is to know about minions, more or less. Starting with etymology. The English word minion comes from the French mignon, meaning cute. Assuming I'm pronouncing that right because I don't speak French. Anyhow, without any further ado, let's get to it. Each minion has what is called time between actions, which is the time it takes the minion to spawn something and then to harvest the same thing in question, which means that it takes minion 2 actions to generate once. However, some minions, for example Snow Minion, can generate multiple items at the same time. For example, now it has 64 snowballs. After breaking a block, it will have 68 snowballs. You can increase the amount of items a minion generates with various items that I will talk about later. Speed can also be increased, but that again later. So the base function of a minion is to generate resources without player's input. They work even when island is not loaded and even when player is not online. And they can be collected without any problem with a press of a button. Each minion has some ideal layout. For minions that spawn blocks, such as all mining minions, including the snow, you need just 1 block and 2 blocks in each direction of empty space or the material that the minion itself generates. So on this space that already has snow on it, I can place a snow minion. However, any other block breaking minion will not be able to be there. Most farming minions will require a space that looks like this, which is filled with dirt because they themselves cannot generate dirt. On the dirt they will spawn their own resource and promptly harvest it. Some minions however have to be unique, so for example Netherworld minion will require soul sand. Sugarcane minion says that its ideal layout is this thing, which is absolutely horrendous. Cactus minion says it requires 2 sands in each direction, but concerning the space it spawns, cacti, it works just like this, because you cannot have 2 blocks of cacti next to each other. Fishing minion will require water, and foraging minions as well as cocoa minion will require space like this. Cocoa minion is one of the few minions that can actually spawn an item that it needs to harvest items, so very soon it will start spawning blocks of wood, on which it will then generate cocoa before harvesting it. Just like so. Foraging minions will place a sapling, which will then grow on its own and then be harvested at the same time. However, foraging minions are slow, and another reason why they are bad will be discussed later on in this video. Some minions have special requirements. For example, mushroom minion can place mushrooms on dirt blocks. It needs to be in a dark room to do so. When you have sand or gravel minion, it can place blocks on empty space. However, that place needs to be supported by blocks, and since both sand and gravel are affected by gravity, they will fall when not supported, which does complicate harvesting the blocks. And lastly, mob spawning minions. Mob spawning minions need a space to place their minions. However, that place should also be surrounded so they don't escape, because if the mobs escape, the minion cannot reach them anymore and therefore cannot have the resource harvested. So it's better to build a wall around him. However, the wall in question doesn't have to be exactly spacious, because for example this thing is viable for tarantula minion, because in this 1 block hole cave spiders can be fit and easily harvested. And it also allows for easier collection, because cave spiders are very small and it's very annoying to build a structure that would allow it. Some minions can however be helped. For example, cobblestone minion can have a cobblestone generator just like this, which will generate the cobblestones so that the minion doesn't have to. This effectively gives double output. However, this only works when the island is loaded. Therefore, if you want to achieve this for some reason, you will need to AFK overnight. And while cobblestone minion is not the best example of this, there are some others featuring crystals. Crystals are a group of items that can be placed on a player's island and they will do something. If you, for example, need netherwort, you can place a netherwort crystal near the minion, and on the soul sand it will occasionally generate netherwort without the minion's input, which can be certainly useful since the minion is pretty slow. Wheat crystal can be used for the exact same purpose, for doing wheat. Wheat minion is however a lot faster, which means it's not going to be as efficient as with other minions. And last such crystal is desert crystal, which can spawn cacti on nearby sand. Desert crystal however is very slow and spawns very weird cacti, which are very much unlike what the minion does. Another minion that can be helped is mycelium minion, because mycelium should be able to spread from mycelium to dirt. However, there's currently a great spook event going on, and I don't think it's supposed to be like 15 literally everywhere on the island. So I don't think that will work Another way to help minions generate items would obviously be vanilla mob grinders, in which you will have minion to place mobs on a sign, and through the sign they would fall to water, which would bring them to fall to their death, or just simply drown them, and then you would have hoppers to collect the items for you. This, however, will not give you collection or XP from said items. As I've just said, collecting minions can give you collection and experience. For example, if I collect Enchanted Strength, I will get a lot of combat experience, which is lower than I would have gotten if I managed to grind resources myself. However, I didn't have to work for collecting this strength. All minions give you a lot less XP than you should have gotten from the resources if you grinded them yourself. However, that didn't stop a lot of people to use these minions to level skills associated with them. Most notable examples include fishing and clay minions, foraging minions, and revenant minion. So I have decided to do the math to show exactly how bad are they. Alright, I recorded the last bits of this video a while ago, a few weeks, because I was busy in school and because of other reasons. And I kind of forgot what I wanted to talk about in minions, but I knew for a fact that I wanted to mention this page. This page calculates how much XP do specific minions like fishing, clay, foraging minions, revenant minions, melon minions, snow and ice minions make, and compare that to the amount of time you need for specific levels. Because a lot of people tend to suggest to other people to use these minions to level some skills, but it's often a bad idea. So yeah, fishing minions gave 1651.9 fishing XP per tier 11 minions, without any wisdom or minion boosts, and it's only 1 minion per, but that still takes 91 years to get fishing 50. So yeah, clay minions are even worse at 1800 XP. Foraging minions give 640 foraging XP per, and there's not that many ways to get foraging wisdom. And, not a lot of reasons to do foraging. Revenant minions give 4860 combat XP, but people use them anyway. Because if you combine that with Catalyst and 31 of them, it apparently is a good way to level G-Drax, because you can, get more co-op members, and at that point you are multiplying the amount of XP several times, and all of that is multiplicative, which means it adds up. But I would argue that's IRL trading, so I don't exactly recommend that. Melon minions I use personally, and I enjoyed using them before we got on game out, and with it the visitors that give insane amount of XP, and that gives 6480 farming XP per minion. Since I collected them with their pay, it wasn't that bad. I used mining minions for ages. In fact, once this thing loads, it should tell you that I'm top 502 in diamond collection. Anyhow, snow minion, one singular tier 12 snow minion will take 73 years to get you to mining 60, but there are a lot of ways to get mining wisdom. Earlier today I had 200 at one point. So, and that is without silverfish. Ice minions, despite what my friend told me, are worse than snow minions. If you use tier 12s, if you compare to your 11s, it might have different reasons, but I'm not too lazy to do math for that. So yeah, if you want to use minions, I recommend using minions that make money. And while I imagine I wanted to talk about Inferno Minions in another video, I'm too lazy to kind of think about ways to fill multiple minutes with fun content. So I'm going to talk about the largest project on Fandom Pages I have made so far, and that's this page, which calculates the profits of Inferno Minions. What this does is that it inherits from different pages that all make calculations with different fields, because if it was on one page it would be incredibly large, because this currently has 140,000 kilobytes effectively, which is a lot, and it used to be a lot higher, but since then I shortened some calculations because I can. If we look at the source code of Gabagool page, we will see that there's this massive calculation. What this does is that it takes time between actions, doubles it because you need 2 actions to generate item, divided by the number of seconds you have in a day, and invert that to get the amount of actions you get per day, then multiply that with the Minion Modifiers, which all add up additively, and then multiply that with Inferno Minion Boost, which while it says 20 times 20, it actually gives times 21, and I tested myself on Alpha Network that this thing is multiplicative with Minion Modifiers, which are additive with each other, which took like an hour, and then divide that by the chance to get different drop, and then subtracting the cost of fuel, including capsaicin eyedrops, 1/3 of them, because each eyedrop has 3 charges, and that's for every single tier. This minion assumes the best possible setup with them, which is Flycatcher and Super Compactor and Mithril Infusion, and that you have at least 10 of them placed. However, this calculation is per minion, so if you take 31 tier 11 minions for 31 days, you'll make 6 billion coins in profit. And if you AFK on an island with Scorch with Beacon, because Beacon doesn't work offline, that might increase to 6.7 billion. So, yeah, that is something that this does not consider, which is Gabagool the fish, because Fandom Wikipedia cannot calculate with prices of items on auction house, and same with Inferno Apex, because Inferno Apex's price is 500 million, because that is the cap you have on Bazaar. So it might be a bit larger, and this assumes that you are not AFKing on your island. Alright, now that I've talked about the XP potential of minions, I might talk about some of their upgrades or modifiers, if you will. A while ago, I personally updated this page to be up to date. So let's get to it. There are 3 different fuels that give 5% boost. Those are coal, block of coal, and enchanted bread. They give it for different durations, and most efficient one of them is block of coal, costing 289 coins per day. However, the fuel is very bad, so I do not recommend using it, because if you use, for example, enchanted charcoal, which is more expensive, you will get 4 times higher boost, which means, unless the minion is very bad, it's going to be more worthwhile. And the spot for mining coal is located in Fire Reserve above the entrance to Goblin Burrows. To access it, you need to throw an ender pearl or yourself with a grappling hook, and what you have to do here is just mine these veins, because you cannot mine these blocks. This place is too small for an endgame player, so there are, better ways to get coal later on. However, this is pretty sufficient when you are early game. Also, an endgame player will not need coal collection, probably because it's easy to max out. However, if you have Heart of the Mountain level 3, you have access to Crystal Hollows, which is unlike Border Mines in the way that you can mine any block you please, more or less. In Mines of Divin, located in Mithril deposits, which you can locate using a fishing compass, you will find blocks of coal in the walls that can be mined and give quite a lot of coal, which is a lot better than that place in Far Reserve. After you are done with that, you can move to permanent fuels. Those fuels do not run out, unlike the previous ones, and coincidentally they also have stronger boosts. The worst of them is Solar Panel, which is located in Quartz collection and costs a ridiculous amount of quartz, and only works during the day, which means it's effectively half as efficient. And I'm not sure how it's going to work in offline calculations that actually lead to the production of minions. So, next one is Enchanted Lava Bucket, which is 4 times cheaper and gives same bonus all the time instead of only at night. It's located in coal collection once again, and you need 3 enchanted iron as well as 2 enchanted blocks of coal. It can be upgraded using Heat Core, which is an item purchased in the Bit Shop. There's an upgrade to Ever Burning Flame that gives 40% bonus to speed. However, this upgrade only works on combat minions, otherwise it gives same 35%. How do you get it, you ask? Well, you craft it using 2 enchanted redstone cubes and 2 enchanted sulfur cubes, which are obtained through their respective collections on the Crimson Isle, and 4 enchanted... Oh, what's flames? That's a great question. Flames is a drop from a rare mob on Crimson Isle that you probably don't know exists. Oh look, there's a bunch of bats flying around in caves on Crimson Isle. Those are called Cinder Bats. They have about 5 million HP, and they're very annoying to hit because, for example, Mida stuff is very complicated to hit them, and Hyperion will teleport you around, which is not a great strategy to use to fight bats. And while I've already killed one of them, you might notice that there's no flames in my inventory. And the reason for that is very simple. Their chance to drop flames is only 1%. So while this is probably the 6th one I will be killing today, the chances are I will not be seeing this drop, which makes Ever Burning Flame one of the most disappointing fuels in this entire game. So there are some other boosts that give some higher bonus. Foul Flesh is one of them, giving the highest boost to minion speed of 90%. And while you might see this gives times 2, no, this column sorts efficiency, not speed. And those things are different, because Foul Flesh decreases the time between actions, while Tasty Cheese and Catalysts increase the output whenever it generates an item, which is a difference. And the difference in that is that, for example, earlier in this video, I recorded the Snow Minion, which was extremely fast because it had Foul Flesh. If it had Catalysts, it wouldn't be any faster. Foul Flesh is a drop from Revenant Horror tier 2 or above. It's occasional drop, which means it's about 20% drop rate. It's actually about 14%, but that doesn't really matter. It can be purchased on Bazaar for about 25,000. It should move around that. It's currently apparently 30,000, which is quite a lot. So it's a fuel that you can consider. Another item is Tasty Cheese, which can be dropped from rats in hub, all pests on garden, and can also be obtained via Rat's Pet, which drops from rats at the garden and the hub. It doubles the output for 1 hour, which is pretty disappointing, considering it's the second worst duration a fuel has. Other items are catalysts, which are crafted from crystal fragments, which are obtained by either shooting them during a dragon boss fight, or as a drop from seals that hold an ender chest. Catalyst increases the output for a minion 3 times for 3 hours, which is very bad. However, in Bit Shop there's an item called Hyper Catalyst Upgrader, which increases the boost from 3 to 4 times and doubles the duration, which is great. Last minion fuels are Inferno Minion fuels. Those are minion fuels that can be specifically used only on Inferno Minions. However, Inferno Minions can use any fuels they want. They are crafted like so, in the middle having different tiers of Gabagool, which result in different efficiency of the fuel, having 6 distillates of one type, and below and under having Inferno Fuel Block, which is an item obtained through Bit Shop again. The first tier says it gives 10 times the bonus, but it gives actually 11 times. Second says it gives 15 times, but actually gives 16 times. And the third value gives 20 times that, but it actually gives 21 times the original output. Inferno Minions mainly produce Gabagool, however these fuels can change that by making them produce Magma Cream, Blaze Rod, Netherwarts and Glowstones. So that's all the minion fuels. However, there are some more things you can put in a minion, for example Hoppers, also known as automated shipping. There are 2 of these items, Budget Hopper and Enchanted Hopper. Previously there was something called Perfect Hopper, seen in some admin inventory or in API or something that has been since removed. What these items do is that once the minion is full, they sell any additional items generated for 50% or 90% of their NPC selling price. When you generate a pretty fast minion like Slime Minion with an item like Corrupt Soil, it means that every mob kill will also generate a singular sulfur and single corrupt fragment. This has 10 coins NPC sell price and 20 coin NPC sell price. Combining that with Enchanted Hopper results that every mob killed will give 27 coins. Another items are Minion Upgrades, which I have myself sorted in 3 different categories. First of them is Minion Expander, which increases the radius of a minion from 2 blocks to 3 blocks, and if you put another one to 4 blocks. And also as a secret feature that increases the minion speed by 5%. Another item that only increases the speed is Flycatcher, which is much more expensive but increases the speed of 20%. Another category is the category of items that generate more resources. First of these items is Diamond Spreading, which has a chance to add diamond when the minion generates something. Another one is Potato Spreading, which does the same thing but with potatoes. Krampus Helmet, which does the same thing but with gifts. So Lesser and Soulflower Engine, which do the same thing but with Soulflow. However, Soulflow Engine also reduces the minion speed unless it's a winning minion, at which point it reduces it but also increases it depending on the minion speed. And Sleepy Hollow, which doesn't have a thing yet, however it makes the minion generate purple candy occasionally. Potato Spreading, Krampus Helmet and Sleepy Hollow can only go to 1 minion in a profile, however you can put Diamond Spreading and all of the others in as many minions as you please. Other items are Enchanted Eggs, which makes Chicken Minion generate egg whenever it kills a chicken, which is very useful to getting eggs, because you need Enchanted Eggs and Super Enchanted Eggs and Omega Enchanted Eggs to craft minions, and that is very expensive. Another item is Flint Shovel, which makes gravel minions generate gravel instead of flint, which is useful because there's no such thing as enchanted gravel, only enchanted flame. Last item is Corrupt Soil, which I've already talked about. The last category of minion upgrades, which instead of adding new resources changes the resources, are these. First of them is Auto Smelter, which is located in Cobblestone Collection. What it does is that it smelts the items instantly as if they were in a furnace. This can be useful for minions like gold or iron. However, it's less useful on minions such as clay, because you probably are not using it to get bricks. Compactor combines items into their block form. For example, after a minion generates 9 iron ingots, it will be replaced with 1 block of iron. However, if an item requires only 4 of these items to generate a block like snow or glowstone dust, it will be turned into its block form. Supercompactor 3000, on the other hand, upgrades the items into their enchanted form, skipping the block part altogether. You can have both, that it will be first turned into blocks and then into enchanted version, but it doesn't actually help. The Dwarven Supercompactor is located in Mithril Collection, which combines the efficiency of Supercompactor and Auto Smelter, which again can be useful for iron and gold minions, not so much for clay, so be careful where you put it. Enchanted Shears apparently will give you wool from sheep minions, which I'm pretty sure it already did, but I might be just stupid. Those were internal modifiers, things that you put inside of a minion. Up next, external modifiers, which you not put inside a minion, namely storages. Storages increase the storage space of a minion because sometimes they fill up pretty fast. Considering that Supercompactor is not very expensive, medium storage should suffice. Second category are minion crystals, which increase the speed of a minion of a specific category, farming, foraging and mining by 10%, or Magic Crystal, you might not even know it exists. It spawns on a winter island, which is 1% drop from red gifts added last Christmas during the whole revamp of the island, and increases the production of snow minions by 5%. There's one very bad thing about these items. They do not work when the island is offline. If you want this item to work, you have to be AFKing on the island. The same can be said about Beacon. Beacon 1 is an item unlocked through Mithril Collection, which increases the minion boost by 2% and also provides you with various different bonuses, such as giving you extra stats. And it can be upgraded through Forge up to level 5, which gives 10%. For Beacon to work, it must be fueled with a Power Crystal, or it can be boosted with a Scorch Power Crystal. A regular Power Crystal is obtained through Forge like the Beacon Upgrades. Scorch Power Crystal is a drop from Inferno Demon drops. Same as Power Crystal, it lasts for 2 days, however, it also gives you 1% extra minion speed boost, so instead of 10, it will be 11. You also get 20% more stats, which is the better reason to get it. Last reason to AFK on your island would be having a pet. As you probably know, pets are these little things that are effectively another armor slot, which give you various bonuses depending on the pet's level. Several of these pets can even increase the speed of your minions by up to 30% at level 100, which is the same speed for all of these minions. However, it's not for all of the minions, but specific ones. So Rabbit boosts all farming minions, Ocelot Minion boosts all foraging minions, including Flower Minion, because previously Rabbit included Flower Minion for some reason, but I think that was fixed in patch notes, doesn't really matter. Magma Cube Pet, which increases the speed of Slime and Magma Cube minions, which is something I'm AFKing on my island with right now. Mushroom Cow Pet, which increases the speed of Mushroom and Mycelium minions. Snail Pet, which increases the speed of Red Sand minions, but not Sand. Chicken Pet, which increases the speed of Chicken minions. Pigman Pet, which increases the speed of Pig minions, and Spider Pet, which increases the speed of Spider, Cave Spider, and Tarantula minions. Another thing that has something to do with minions is Minion Chair, which requires iron ingot, 2 sticks, 4 dark oak wood planks, and 4 pieces of stones. And Minion Chair can be placed on your island, on which a minion can be placed, just like so. It doesn't count as a placed minion, it counts as a placed furniture. So you can have that if you want. I don't. And last thing that you can put inside of a minion is Minion Skin, which belongs in this green slot. It changes the sprite of a minion, keeping the indicator of its tier on top of its head. However, it doesn't actually do anything, so I'm not gonna keep it there. And I'm not sure how well I talked about Mithril Infusion, but Mithril Infusion is an item located in Mithril Collection, pretty high up, and it can be applied and upgradable with a minion to permanently increase its speed by 10%. It's crafted from a Magma Bucket, which is the most expensive part, because enchanted Mithril really is not that expensive. Another thing I should talk about are minion tiers. There are 11 minion tiers, each of them upgrades either the storage or time between actions of the minion. Minions can either be picked up and then crafted into the next tier, or they can be upgraded with a button within their menu that would be located here if this minion wasn't maxed. Some minions, however, have a 12th tier, which is not crafted, but with one exception, is purchased from various NPCs. First such NPC is Tony, located in Trapper's Den on Mushroom Desert, and he will sell farming minions for 75 pelts, tier 11 minion, and various resources. On Vernon Mines in Vernon Village, NPC Bulvar will sell mining minions for 2 million coins, some resources, and tier 11 version of a minion. The bartender NPC in Hub sells tier 12 Revenant Minion for 2 million coins, some resources, and Revenant Minion, tier 11. In Skeleton and Dragon Tail are NPCs that sell minions related to Nether resources, so Hilda sells Ghast, Quartz, Glowstone, Blaze, Magma Cube, and Basilia Minion. If you want tier 12 Redstone Minion, you have to go to the Barbarian variant with 12,000 Barbarian reputation, and last tier 12 Minion is Flower Minion tier 12, which is the only one that you need to craft. It's obtained by donating 100 items to Museum, which really isn't a lot. By crafting minions or minion tiers you haven't crafted yet, you will unlock unique minions. Unique minions will eventually give you more minion slots, up to 21. Another 5 can be unlocked in Community Hub with Elizabeth by selecting an upgrade and waiting a bit, and another 5 are base and available for all players once they create profile. Apart from unique minions you can place on your island, you will also get one more thing. And the thing in question is SkyBlock XP, which varies with the tier of the minion crafted, up to 24 per tier 12. This adds up very quickly, so I very much recommend crafting as many minions as you can, because they can give you nice bit of passive income, which is what this quote-unquote series is about. So yeah, I hope you liked this video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in another one.